Well, Lee, you're getting ready for a Friday night game, a rare Friday night fixture, I think, for Crewe. But just going back to the weekend, you obviously changed your system. I know it's not your preferred system, probably down to what you got available there. You had to go that way. Well, the one thing you will want from Friday's game is more on the front foot. How did you go about that? What's been the sort of work in training?
Yeah, we want a lot more intensity on Friday to our play. Like you say, Friday night under the lights don't come around very often at Gresty Road, the Mornflakes. So that's what we want to entail going into Friday. The training's been based around that. But like you say, we changed formation on Saturday to try and nullify them as much as we could. They're a good team. I think they were 4 on the bounce, 6 out of 5, something like that. And I thought it worked to an extent, but what it did do is it meant we got nowhere near their goal enough. And that's the area that we're trying to work on the most. At the back we're pretty solid, but we need to get more going forward.
I should imagine, like most managers and most coaches, when they're working with the players in training, the ball's going in the back of the net probably 9 times out of 10. It's all about transferring it over when it really matters, match day or match night.
Yeah, it's about putting the players into the positions that they're going to get on Saturdays, Tuesdays, Fridays. It's all right just rolling them a ball and striking it into a goal against the goalkeeper. That's not what really happens on a match day. So it's just trying to replicate the scenarios that do happen, and then talking to them about the detail and getting them confident enough to back themselves. I think that's a thing, backing themselves. Don't overthink the situation, go off your instinct. The first thing you see is normally the right thing. So getting them to just back themselves a bit more.
Previous managers have had targets in terms of where they are in the season and what they try to get out of the players. You're coming into a new month, it's the start of December, everybody knows it's a heavy schedule of fixtures. Is that something that you look at as well as the new man, as the interim manager, that you put targets for your players?
We do, but I'm going to be boring and give it the old. We look at the next game, and that is what we do. We look at the next game. I'm not one for going through fixtures and thinking we could do this could happen, because a lot happens during the week, a lot happens in the previous game, which means you change your thought processes going into the next game. It literally is one game at a time, and I think that's the best thing to do. Get yourself focused on what's here and now, the training based around what we're going to be doing going into the games. I believe that's the best way to go about it.
But you've take out that FA Cup result, there's been some solid victories in the league, and if you couldn't make it 3 in a row in the league, it gets you right in the pack, basically.
Yeah, and momentum's big in football, and we want to sustain that. We want to put on a decent performance on Friday night. We're adding our information to what we want it to look like, and we hope the players can deliver that. If you keep winning games, you get in the pack like you've just said. But again, don't look at the league table, focus on the here and now, and the games and the game we've got coming in front of us.
But for the players, that's what they thrive on, don't they? You've been there, you've played many games. There's no better feeling than winning football matches.
No, and that's the reward for them. If they keep winning football matches, I keep telling them not look, but I know they will look. And they'll see what's happening to them in terms of climbing up the table, or a potential opportunity to climb up the table. That's what they've got to grasp, that's what they've got to cling on to, that's got to be a motivation for them, and I'm sure they'll do that going into the games, knowing where they could end up come the end of Friday night.
The last 2 fixtures, if you look at it, Swindon away and Barnsley away in the Cup, you would have had that underdogs tag. It won't be the case come Friday night and people look at the league table. You will probably be the favourites to win. Does that add extra responsibility on the players?
I think there's always a responsibility, particularly at home, to go out and perform and win football matches. We've been able to do that in the previous games, and nothing will change, regardless of who we're playing, where they are in the league. We will always go into the game with the attitude and the mentality of winning the game. Yes, there'll be different setups according to who we play against, but their mentality and thought process should never change to winning. We want them to be winners, we want them to win in training. It's something I'm trying to instill in them. That winning word can be, people shy away from it, don't shy away from it, embrace it. You want to be a winner, you should want to win, and particularly a professional sports person, you should want to win every time you take the field, if that's match days or training.
good teams, good players win games, win whatever sport they're playing in.
Yeah, they do, and that you know, if you win more than you lose, you end up being successful, don't you? And again, that's something we're trying to instill in the players.
Newport arrive here having taken Derby right to the wire in their FA Cup tie last Sunday. Did you get a glimpse of that, and did you watch that and analyse what they were doing, and what do you expect?
Yeah, we watched that game, and we've obviously watched previous games and highlights and clips. He's done a brilliant job, Graham, since he's gone in. Picked him up the league. Really got a style and a structure to how they play, so we know what to expect. It's going to be a highly competitive game, high intensity game from both teams. So we've got to match them and do more, but they've got to match what we do, and we want to be better than what they do in terms of being on the front foot.
He was a competitive central defender.
One
You were a combative midfield player as well. Now you're both in the technical area. So is it going to be a blood and thunder sort of game, or what do you know?
No, absolutely not from us. Absolutely not. I think I got a couple off him off the pitch though. No, but absolutely not. I won't ever try and get involved with any other opposition. It doesn't help. He seems quite a calm character on the sideline anyway. So definitely won't be from our point of view any of that. I'm doing my best to stay away from anything like that.
Let's talk just unfortunately about injury problems, because you've had your fair share of them, and unfortunately the fair share have been long-term ones. So we have updates on all three of the long-terms: Courtney Baker-Richardson, Chris Long and Callum Ainley. Yeah,
Courtney had a successful operation. That's gone well. He's in obviously the start of his recuperation, where he's got to spend a lot of time off his feet. And the physios are looking after him. There's a plan in place for him. But like I say, that's way in the future where we're going to see him. We want him around the place. I've told him that we need him around the building. We want him to come to games because he's just a brilliant character, a real leader. Longy went to see a specialist. He's going to need surgery. So that's foreseeable, 3 months possibly for Longy, which we're disappointed with. And I'm really disappointed for him because he has done everything he can, and I mean everything he can, to try and get himself fit. Trained through a bit of pain in terms of in his recovery, tried to get through it. Then he's had a setback, and I'm gutted for him as a person because he has absolutely worked his backside off.
Just before you get on to Callum Ainley, can I jump in then and say you could quickly dismiss then that unfortunately the social media people think that Chris Long is pulling the wool over their eyes. You can quickly think that. There's no footballer wants to be out injured, do they, for 8-9 months?
Absolutely no. They want to come and watch him, how hard he's been working. He's been here all hours. He's grafted. He's absolutely grafted. He's a footballer. He wants to play football as much as he can. He's absolutely distraught that he can't play football. I think he's been an exceptional professional trying to get himself fit. Yes, he's had his days where he's been down because he's been injured for a long time. But now he's done everything he can to try and get fit, and fair credit to him.
And just finally on Callum Ainley then.
Callum, yeah, the injury's healed. He'll obviously just see somebody again to make sure. It's just about building the strength up. He's out working hard, some road runs, get him up to speed as quickly as he can. So when we are able to call on him, he's able to make an impact in the team.
I think you're looking probably early New Year.
Yeah, sorry, it'll be after Christmas. It'll be hopefully early middle January.